Hello, everyone, and welcome to Module 4, which is the final module in our Quiz Mastery Foundation certification course. Now, to recap, in the first module of this lesson, we spoke about the psychology of quizzes. We touched on the different types of quizzes and how you can find your quiz hook and the components of a high converting quiz. In the second module, we covered, I showed you how you can create outcome and offers that converts, quiz outcome and offers that converts. And I also showed you some tips on how you can create quiz questions and answers that, your audience will find interesting, and how you can set all this up on LeadQuizzes. All right. Now, in our last module, which was module 3, we spoke about how you can target the right type of traffic. And I also touched on 5 traffic sources that works really well with quizzes. And lastly, I showed you how you can create an evergreen quiz traffic system for your quiz, your business, right? Now, in this final lesson today, in this final module, rather, today, we're going to be looking at how you can tell where drop-offs happen in your quiz and how you can A/B split test, to improve performance. Finally, I'll be showing you how you can set up an effective autoresponder for your quiz leads. All right. Now let's jump in. Now let's start by looking at some of the reasons why drop-offs happen in your quiz. All right. Then afterwards, we are going to be touching on where drop-offs actually happen in your quiz. All right. So some of the reasons why drop-off happen in your quiz. Now, the first reason we spoke about is how initially we spoke about how you can find your quiz hook for your business. And I told you that the quiz hook is the key to a successful quiz marketing funnel. So think of your quiz hook as the cover of your book. All right. Now, the right quiz hook, can catch your audience's attention and inspire or challenge them to learn more, while the wrong quiz hook will kind of attract the wrong type of people to your quiz funnel. All right. So incorrect quiz hook is the first reason why, drop-offs happen in your quiz. Now, the second reason is inappropriate offers. So you have to sell the right type of offer on the back of your quiz funnel. So make sure that your offer that you are presenting to your leads at the end of the quiz correlates with the problem that the quiz is trying to solve, for the quiz taker. You don't want to have an offer, let's say, in a quiz that is titled, "What kind of car is right for you?" And then you have an offer for, let's say, a coupon to shop at a boutique. It doesn't make sense. All right. So make sure the offer is tied to the quiz title and the problem that you're trying to solve for your audience. All right. Now, the next reason why drop-offs happen in quizzes is ambiguous questions. All right. So don't try to be smart. Of course, I don't mean this in the traditional way. I mean, if you intentionally form your questions so that you're trying to trick your audience or mislead them, you're playing a losing game. All right. So the point is that the participants will be able to spend little time going through your quiz. All right. So the more time they spend racking their brain instead of enjoying your quiz, the chance of them dropping off before they complete the quiz increases significantly. All right. So a great question kind of hit the sweet spots where it's neither too hard nor is it too easy. All right. So I'll give you an example. All right. So if you had a quiz question, I think I used this in one of the previous modules. If you had a quiz question that says, what's one item that you cannot go without every day? Or you had this another question that said, if you were on a stranded island, which of these would you take? Now, they are similar questions, but you notice that of those two questions, the second question is more interesting. So it's more unusual, it's unexpected, it's remarkable, and that way your audience kind of want to engage with your quiz. All right. So like I said, a good question hits the sweet spot where it's not too hard or it's not too easy. All right. And it's also great when you're also witty in your questions. Right. Now, the final reason why drop-offs happen is improper procedure. So most people think that, you create the quiz from the questions and then you create the results. However, the right process is that you first create your quiz results or the outcomes, and that way you'll be able to know what questions to ask and how to correlate, the outcome or the results to the questions. So always start from the end, which is the outcome, before you create your questions. All right. Now, next, let's take a look at where drop-offs happen in your quiz. All right, so we're going to look at drop-off to the quiz page view, drop-off during question engagement, drop-off at the lead form submission section. All right, so let's start one by one. All right, so views to quiz start page drop-off. All right, now you can see from this screenshot that about 762,000 people viewed this quiz, the start page, but then we have about 4,745 that actually clicked on start and went on to view question number 1. Now, there are a couple of reasons for this. If you have your quiz embedded on your homepage of your website, there's a possibility that you have such numbers because everyone that lands on your website will be calculated as a view. All right. Now, let's see if you also have a website pop-up. There's also a possibility of this happening. In this case, what you can do is change the quiz hook or the quiz title to see if you can get more click-throughs. All right. You can also try removing the start page of the quiz, and that way everyone that lands on your website gets to see question number 1 directly. You can also try changing the description, the image color, the button seats A, and so on to try to get more click-throughs into your quiz. All right. Now, the next is question drop-off. All right. Now, you can see between question number 1 and question number 2, for question number 1, we have 4,745 people that viewed that question. But getting to question number 2, we have 3,069 people that viewed question number 2. All right. So we lost about close to 1,000 plus people between question number 1 and question number 2. All right. Now, what you can do in this situation is maybe this question is a hard question. Maybe they don't understand it. Maybe it's one of those questions that they don't even know what the answer to it is, or they don't want to answer the question. So that way you can decide, to change it out, to move it down the question pipeline, to kind of rephrase it, to edit it, or just to delete it completely. All right, so when you get to see a very high number of drop-off between questions, you should think about making changes to that question to kind of improve the flow. All right, now the next is the lead form drop-off. All right, now you can see in here we had 2,095 people that actually viewed the lead form, and 962 people went on to fill the same. All right, so we lost about more than 1,000 people in there. Now, some reasons for this is, the more forms you have on your quiz, the less your conversions, because people don't like leaving so much personal information online. So what you can do is reduce the number of forms. If you just need the first name and email to reach out to them, try to ask for the first name and email. If you have a call center, or let's say sales team that's going to reach out to the leads via email, you can also include the phone number. But the less the fields you have in there, the more your conversion. All right. Now, let's see. Right now, lastly, you see we have the result pages in there as well. Now, for the result page, bear in mind that the only reason anyone's going to take your quiz is to attain some measure of self-awareness, about their situation. All right, so make sure the result page is not a cliche. Give them relevant information, and that way they can move on to the CTA you have on your result page. All right. Now, as you start finding this testing opportunities from analyzing your insight reporting, the next step you want to do is implement those tests to improve quiz performance. In LeadQuizzes, you can do this by using our A/B split test functionality. And I'm going to show you how you can do that in the next lesson. All right. Stay tuned. Thank you.